In the Responsible Party Setup Part 1 video, we reviewed the steps to set up a subcontractor as a responsible party. In Part 2, we're going to go over assigning specific projects or checklists to your responsible party, as well as adding crews or responsible persons. To start, go to Setup, Responsible Party Setup Process. Find your responsible party on this page and select it by clicking the circle at the beginning of the row. In this example, I'm selecting A1 Painter. Next, use the Process menu to add crews and assign checklist or projects. Let's start with Projects. Select Projects from the Process menu. On this page, you'll see a list of all your projects. Check each box for the project that the responsible party will actively work in. Uncheck the boxes that the responsible party should not have access to. In this example, A1 Painter does work in Applegate Tower, Ashley Acres Estates, and Crystal Lake. So I've checked those boxes. But A1 Painter does not perform any work in Ancient Oaks Preserve or H&M, so I've unchecked those boxes. Once this page is saved, A1 Painter will now show up as a responsible party for Applegate Tower in the inspection selection process. The project page also has a responsible person column, and we'll come back to this later. Now, let's look at the checklist option on the process menu. This page displays the checklists that are available. Click the ones that will be used by this responsible party or apply to work performed by this responsible party. The Select All checkbox allows you to select all or deselect all checklists. Since A1 Painter is a painting subcontractor, I'm going to deselect all checklists, then scroll down the page to just click those painting checklists that apply to this responsible party. This will simplify the choices in the inspection selection process for your inspector. Now let's take a look at the crew options on the process menu. Crews are individual people under the subcontractor, and adding someone here will be setting them up as a restricted user in FTQ360. To add a new crew member, click the blue Add button. This will insert a new line. The first name, last name, email address, and username are required fields because FTQ360 is going to use this info to set this person up as a restricted user. Let's set up Pete Jones as a crew leader for A1 Painter. I'm going to enter Pete as the first name, Jones as the last name, then Pete J at a1painter.com as the email address and the username. We recommend using the email address as the username as it will be unique and easy for the user to remember. Now when I press save, Pete Jones is set up as a crew/person for this responsible party. Under inspector type, I have a drop down that allows me to change his title if necessary. But since Pete is a crew leader for A1 Painter, I'm going to leave the selection set to crew/person. Now when you set up a crew member, a couple of things happen. First, this crew member is automatically set up as a restricted user. Let's go to Setup, Administration, User Setup Process to find him. On the User Setup page, you can scroll down to find your new crew member or use the keyword search to find his name. I'm going to type Pete in the search to filter the list. Here I can see that Pete has been set up as a user. His affiliation is with A1 Painter. His inspector type is set to crew/person. The system automatically gave him a generic password, so you don't need to change anything in those two fields. He is checked as a restricted user, and he is also inactive. I'm going to check the active box to make him an active user. Once I hit save, and Pete is officially an active user, I can select him and send him a login invitation. This invite will email to him, giving him his username and password and inviting him to log in. There's another advantage of the crew feature. Let's go back to Setup Responsible Party Setup Process and select A1 Painter again. Then choose Projects from the Process menu. All the projects are listed here, and the ones A1 Painter is actively working in are checked. But there's also a Responsible Person column. The drop-down menu here gives me a choice. If I have several crew members set up for the subcontractor, I can identify which one is exclusive to the corresponding project. For example, if Pete Jones performs painting work in Ashley Acres, but Carlos Penn performs that work in Crystal Lake, I can select their names from the drop-down. However, if any or all crews work in Applegate, I would select all from the drop-down corresponding with Applegate. Now when the inspector starts an inspection, that crew/responsible person will automatically be associated with the project and will automatically be linked as the responsible party on the inspection.